Henry Ford was born on July 30, 1863 in a small farmhouse in Dearborn, Michigan. His parents were farmers, and they expected young Henry to follow the same path and work the fields. But Henry was different from the very beginning. While other children were content with chores and playing in the countryside, Henry was always curious about machines. He wanted to understand how things moved and why they worked the way they did. As a boy, Henry would take apart watches, clocks, and even farm tools. Sometimes he managed to fix them, and sometimes he broke them completely, but in every case he learned something new. This endless curiosity grew stronger as he got older, and he realized that farming was not his calling. When he turned 16, Henry left home and traveled to Detroit, where he became an apprentice machinist. There he worked long hours learning about steam engines and mechanical parts. The city was filled with new inventions, and Henry felt excited to be in the middle of it. By the 1890s, people had started to experiment with gasoline-powered engines. Henry worked as an engineer for the Edison Illuminating Company, where he was recognized for his talent. He spent many nights in his workshop building small machines. In 1896, he completed his first gasoline-powered vehicle, which he named the quadricycle. It was a simple four-wheeled machine with bicycle tires and a small engine, but it marked the start of his journey. Henry felt proud as he drove it down the streets of Detroit, even though people laughed at the strange-looking invention. Henry believed that the future of transportation would not be horses, but automobiles. While other inventors and car makers were building expensive luxury cars only for the rich, Henry had a different dream. He wanted to create a car for the ordinary man, a car that farmers, workers, and families could afford. This vision set him apart from everyone else in the automobile industry. In 1903, Henry Ford founded the Ford Motor Company. At first, the company struggled and faced failures, but Henry did not give up. In 1908, he introduced the Model T. It was simple, reliable, and strong enough to handle rough American roads. But most importantly, it was affordable. The Model T quickly became popular across the nation. People who had never imagined owning a car could now dream of traveling with their families. Henry transformed transportation forever. But what truly changed the world was not just the Model T, but the way Henry produced it. In 1913, he introduced the moving assembly line. Instead of building one car at a time, each worker was given a single task, and the car moved down a conveyor belt piece by piece. This method reduced costs and increased speed. The time to build a car dropped from 12 hours to just 90 minutes. The price of the Model T dropped too, and soon millions of Americans owned one. Henry also believed in treating his workers fairly. In 1914, he shocked the business world by announcing that Ford workers would earn $5 a day, which was double the usual wage. This allowed his employees to buy the very cars they were building, creating a new cycle of growth. People called it Fordism, and it became a symbol of modern industry. However, Henry was also a man of strong opinions. Sometimes his stubbornness created problems. He refused to change the Model T for many years. Even when competitors introduced more stylish and powerful cars, sales eventually dropped, and Henry was forced to introduce new models. He also faced criticism for some of his personal beliefs and controversial statements, but his impact on the world of transportation remained undeniable. During his lifetime, Henry Ford met great leaders and became one of the most famous businessmen in America. He lived to see automobiles spread across the world, turning into an everyday necessity, not just a luxury. When he died on April 7, 1947, he left behind a legacy that forever changed how people lived, worked, and traveled. His story is not only about building cars, it is about vision, determination, and the courage to follow a dream that no one else believed in. Henry Ford showed that one person with a clear idea and relentless hard work can change the lives of millions. He proved that progress is not only for the rich, but can also serve the common man. His dream of putting the world on wheels became reality, and his name remains one of the most powerful in the history of innovation.